Guys, this is kind of a warning video because we need to talk about crafting Deepsight Weapons on Neomuna. There seems to be a misunderstanding on what's craftable, where the weapons are dropping, and the same question I keep getting over and over is, Cross, why are Deepsights not dropping from terminal overload? Well, fellas, those weapons are not craftable. Red borders do not drop from terminal overload. You could do them until you're blue in the face. Now, they do have specific weapons that drop from that activity, but those are random rolls. So if you actually get a god roll from terminal overload, keep it, fellas. I think I've seen many of you discard some god rolls because you're anticipating a red border version of these weapons to drop, and we know the craftable versions of most weapons are superior. So the weapons that are not craftable, that are dropping from terminal overloads, include Synchronic Roulette, which is dropping from the Liming Harbor, Basso Ostinato, which is dropping from Ahimsa Park, and Circular Logic, which is dropping from Zephyr Concourse. You have to do those activities and they rotate daily. They always drop these weapons, one of these weapons per area that this activity is taking place in, and it's random rolls every single time from the overload chest. You will never get a Deepsight version of these weapons because Bungie made the change a long time ago that only craftable weapons will drop with a Deepsight variant. Secondly, these three weapons are not craftable. So if you do happen to get a god roll of one of these three, keep them. Now in total, there are 8 Neomuna weapons. 5 of them are craftable though, and we're going to talk about how to get those 5. These are the weapons you're going to want to farm red borders for. They include the fusion rifle, Iterative Loop, which by the way is a fantastic fusion, the hand cannon, Round Robin, the heavy grenade launcher, Dimensional Hypertrochoid, which is a very unique one as it is a stasis waveframe heavy grenade launcher. We also have the beautiful Vota bracket, which I just unlocked the pattern for. This is a Strand sniper rifle and a pulse rifle, Phylotactic Spiral. Now here in a few days, we're actually going to be doing an overview for all the different random rolls you can get on these weapons, including the 3 non-craftable weapons. Today though, I really want you to just focus on how to get these craftable weapons. Now, I do want to mention, before you even start farming, you need to first acquire these weapons. If you have not acquired them via their respective sources, they will not drop for you in the wild. Now, the grenade launcher, the sniper rifle, and the pulse rifle all drop from the Lightfall campaign, which is why we ran the campaign 3 different times. I know some people are paying to skip the campaign, but no lie, if you skip the cutscenes and just run straight through the campaign, you'll be surprised how quickly you can actually get through it. Of course, experience the campaign at least once, but afterwards, just run straight through it. The beautiful thing about doing the campaign though, is that Nimbus actually rewards you these 3 weapons and they're all red boxes. That means you can get 3 out of 5 completely done from just running the campaign 3 times on all of these, which really cuts down on the grind elsewhere. Now, if you don't want to run through the campaign multiple times, at least do them once to unlock them. That way, when you are farming out in the wild, you can get them to drop for you from farming sources. Now, that leaves us with the fusion rifle and the hand cannon, which is definitely 2 of the most coveted weapons from all of these. In order to actually get them to start dropping for you, you have to complete the quests from 0, as well as 2 hero. These are very easy quests, and I actually got them after completing the campaign there with Nimbus, but essentially both of these quests will have you loot gold region chests on Neomuna. These can actually be located with these symbols on the map. And considering the other day when we were talking about farming Strand meditations, I highly advise looting every single chest you come across, but definitely these gold regional chests. Now next, you'll need to complete activities on Neomuna, which include patrols, public events, resource gathering, pretty much everything we talked about in our farming guide. You could double dip into all these activities at the same time, as in go to an area, complete a public event, and do a patrol in that area. Make sure you're throwing on things like combo detector on your ghosts so that you're gathering both resources and chests. Now, to fully unlock the fusion rifle, after getting to this part of the quest, you'll need to kill a boss in the SC terminal. This is on the left side of the map, guys. Again, with all these things, literally just mark it on your quest tab and it will bring you to these locations. And for Round Robin, the hand cannon, you'll need to kill a boss in the Typhon Imperator, so the right side of the map. If you're tracking both of these guys, it'll bring you right to them. Finally though, after completing these quests, return to Nimbus and these weapons will now start dropping for you out in the wild, or most notably from the resources that we're going to be giving you now. Now, the beautiful thing is that all of these weapons will drop with a Deepsight Resonance already applied. So technically, if you've already ran through the campaign once, and if you've done the quests from 0 and to hero, then technically you only need 4 patterns for each weapon. By the way, you do not have to tune Deepsight Weapons. You can obtain pattern progress immediately after getting a Deepsight. There's no neutral elements, none of that stuff. You can just go straight into the Deepsight and claim the pattern. Then you can either keep it, discard it, or infuse it into into another weapon. Now let's talk about the best farms. We're gonna start with terminal overloads, but keep in mind, terminal overloads do not drop craftable Neomuna weapons. I have done them over and over. I have not gotten a single red box weapon from a terminal overload. With that being said though, terminal overload is great for farming Nimbus reputation. And if you're specifically going after Synchronic Roulette, Basu Autonato, and Circular Logic, then obviously this is the way to do it. Upon completing this activity though, 2 chests will spawn, and you can actually double and even triple dip back into this free chest. You leave the patrol area on a Sparrow. Make sure you're using the fastest Sparrow in the game, which is always on time. I know, I wish it wasn't the fastest Sparrow. I love so many other Sparrows, but this one is still the fastest Sparrow in the game. But use it, literally leave the patrol area, turn back around. As soon as you see the text in the bottom left end of your screen, that indicates that you're going into a new zone, and then Sparrow your way back to the chest. You can do this over and over, and every time you're doing it, you're getting reputation gains. Your goal here is to hit at least rank 15 with Nimbus. This will give you the upgrade that will guarantee a terminal overload weapon inside the terminal overload key chest after each stage 3 completion. Now you can hit rank 30, and that's a pretty good rank up because it states that every rank up Ingram in the future will also guarantee a Neomuna weapon. But I do want to mention, I have already hit high rank with Nimbus, and I think overall, maybe one out of all these rank ups actually rewarded me one Deepsight variant of a Neomuna weapon. It is not an optimal farm for getting the craftable rolls. Instead, let me point you to where you're actually going to be farming if you're looking to get craftable rolls, and that is Heroic Patrols. Heroic Patrols are literally the best farm for Deepsight Neomuna weapons. The beautiful thing about these patrols is that you are guaranteed a Neomuna weapon drop on every completion. Now these often can be red borders, and when I say often, I mean very often. Every time you see one of these Heroic Patrols pop up, guys, stop whatever you're doing, even if you're in the middle of a terminal overload, and go do this Heroic Patrol. Now many people do not know how to get these Heroic Patrols to spawn. All you have to do is just complete several patrols in a single patrol zone. So you could do this in tandem with farming Strand meditations. Now the amount is random, but it's usually somewhere between 3 and 6. With that being said, I've actually walked into an area, like a completely new area, and a Heroic Patrol just pops up right in front of me. So again, it can be completely random. Now there are 4 possible Neomuna Heroic Patrols. The first 3 are patrol zone specific. Number 1, get out of town. This is at Zephyr Concourse. Number 2, aggressive tech support. This is at Liming Harbor. And number 3, charge the front line. This is at Ahimsa Park. These will all have you follow a waypoint on your HUD to a nearby location and essentially just clear out a room full of enemies as well as a mini boss. I will say the mini boss is pretty thick, so bring your best stuff. Now, once this is done, you will receive a Neomuna weapon, and it's very likely that it will be a Deepsight. Now, the 4th patrol that we've discovered, and we think this is the final Heroic Patrol, is arguably the easiest. It's called Bullseye Reflex. This can actually appear in 3 Neomuna patrol zones, but the objective here is extremely easy. Just get 10 precision kills, and upon completing this, you will receive a Neomuna weapon. Now this takes us to the best farming method. Honestly guys, you still want to queue into a terminal overload patrol zone. Continue farming terminal overloads so that you can get god rolls of terminal overload weapons, as well as reputation gains whenever you complete stage 3, and you can go back and forth over and over. Again though, you will not get any Deepsight weapons from this, and as far as Deepsight weapons dropping from Nimbus and those Ingrams, it is abysmally low. Hence why I've run the campaign on all 3 characters, just so I can cut down on the RNG here. What your focus should be as you're passively doing terminal overload in the background is picking up as many patrols as you can. You want to get a Heroic Patrol, as the drop rate for Deepsights is literally the best. Now you could cycle with the fire team to find events or patrols already in progress if you want just red borders. It may even be faster to just complete patrols with a fire team instead of re-queuing into an event. Now, if you do the material or kill patrols, they're actually really easy to do with terminal overloads, so you can double dip there. And we're still testing out which method is the fastest to spawn a Heroic Patrol. So if you have any information, a comment down below would be very much appreciated. I've got a lot of people that kept coming by asking, why is Deepsight Weapons not dropping from terminal overload? And I just wanted to put this video out to give clarification on this. Those weapons are not craftable. And if you're sitting there at rank 30 scratching your head asking, why is Nimbus not giving me Deepsights? That's because Bungie made the drop rates with Nimbus terrible. With that being said though guys, best case scenario, if you did the campaign on 3 different characters, that's 3 out of 5 easily done on weapon patterns for Dimensional Hypotrochoid, Volta, Brackets, and Phyllotatic Spiral, which is fantastic. That means you only have to get 2 more out in the wild, and then you can do those other 2 quests. Now someone's gonna ask, Cross, can you just not do From Zero as well as the 2 hero quests and just focus the pulse rifle, the grenade launcher, and the sniper sniper rifle from the campaign. Matter of fact, you can. If that's all you want, if you don't want round robin or the fusion rifle, you can purely just focus the 3 campaign legendaries. That way, whenever you do complete a heroic patrol, weapon drops will be focused on that and not those other 2 weapons. Keep in mind though, I don't really suggest that, considering you're gonna have much more weapon pattern progress for the campaign legendaries if you've done the campaign on all 3 characters than you would for the hand cannon or fusion. So I do suggest completing all the quests associated with it. That way, whenever you do those heroic patrols, you could potentially get pattern progress for all of these weapons. So guys, that is our Deepsight weapon guide. If this video has helped you and gave you more clarification, a like is very much appreciated. And again, if you have any information on how to spawn heroic patrols, feel free to comment down below. By the way, being in a fire team definitely helps. We have a Discord. Come by, team up with some folks. Even if you don't want to talk to them, having someone on your fire team pick up patrols while you're doing terminal overloads and vice versa is a beautiful thing. It just makes the entire grind process a lot easier. You are all getting progress, even if you're not actively taking place in the patrol that's being picked up. Matter of fact, Les was on the other side of the map, and I completed a heroic patrol, and a Deepsight weapon dropped for him. So get a fire team. Fellas and ladies, thank you all for coming and watching, and as always,
slap that like button like your mama told you right.